Jam! Hello again and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTGcast Network. I am Chewie.
Chewie.
That echo was Squee.
Squee.
And that awkward, not at all awkward actually, giggle was Cluze.
Hey, hi everybody. Big shout out to all of our listeners in Vancouver and lower British Columbia. Everybody else.
Okay, we're done. Good night, everybody.
Also, we're sorry.
This is episode 604 of Monday Night Magic, thus the shout outs. And yeah, we didn't record last week because at the time there were two factors going on. One, not quite enough happened to warrant having a show.
It was close, though.
It was close. And two, which was the real deciding factor, we just didn't want to. Well, I don't know about we. I just didn't want to.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to either.
Okay, then.
I had admittedly just spent time in Chicago and survived, so I'm like, yeah, I can do whatever. But I also wasn't really going to fight for it.
Hey, I know the burning question. You were in Chicago.
Yes, he did.
Did you have any New York-style pizza?
No. Though I will say that I had deep dish pizza with people who were from the New England area, and they still tried to eat it like New York pizza by folding it, which doesn't work with deep dish pizza. Doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't.
That's just the only way they know how to eat pizza. So they're trying to fold it and trying to eat it sideways, and it doesn't work.
They did
it's
have
a pie,
right? Because they could just use utensils. Like
they don't do that in New York, Cluze. Did you learn nothing from Jon Stewart making fun of everyone?
Apparently no one did. Otherwise we wouldn't be in this mess.
That's true. But yeah, like I survived going to Chicago. It snowed on me, which was surprising.
Because of April?
No, it's not because it's Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, it was snowing in April, and I went up the Willis Tower, formerly the Sears Tower, formerly Bruce Wayne's Tower. And I stepped out on the neat little overhang thing where you're supposed to be able to see up, down, all around, whatever. But because it was snowing...
You could mostly see snow?
You can't even see snow because everything's fogged up. But what you see is the void. Because...
Did the void stare back?
A little bit.
To it.
A little bit. Yeah,
All right.
A little bit. So, like, you look forward, it's nothing but fogged up. Like, you can't see outward at all, okay? Look up, same deal. Look down, you can see part of the building as it, is behind you and goes off into the cloud, and you can't see the ground. Like, you look down and all you see is the cloud. And that's actually surreal in its own.
I was going to say, was all of our data still there?
I couldn't tell because it was all together. And it was encrypted. Aren't you proud of it? But that's like it was surreal. Yeah, you go up 103 floors. Your ears pop several times in the elevator. You were incredibly high up. But the best part is I took pictures. And later when I looked at the pictures on my phone, I could see buildings. Because the light that my camera could pick up was different than the light that my eyes could pick up. So I could actually see the outlines of buildings that I couldn't see live. So that was neat.
That's only slightly disconcerting.
I assume it was a Goosebumps mystery, and I am now haunted. But either way, I survived Chicago and ate lots of pizza. So good times.
Awesome.
Did not get mugged. But, when in Rome, I mugged 3 people.
Oh,
so,
good. Good.
I had to keep up the illusion. Anybody want to watch? I have 3.
It is nice now that we're at the end of April that it's beginning to feel like the beginning of March.
All right, so that's enough for vacation, work
That's
vacation.
Your backstory. Hey, look, there's a lot of magic news.
And weather podcast. So, we are going to start with everything, including the stuff that we didn't talk about last week. First up, very important, there are changes to upcoming GPs.
Dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
GP Melbourne was October 19th through the 21st. It is no longer. It is now November 16th through the 18th.
They need time to get rid of drop bears.
That's almost a full month difference, so that's important. The format is still limited, so that didn't change. And it was previously at the Melbourne Olympic Park. Now it's at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Center. So it changed dates and it changed venues.
Do we know why?
It doesn't say.
Okay, because I didn't remember seeing why when I saw this announcement. I was wondering if anybody out there knew, and I don't know why I was expecting them to say so. Look, wherever you are right now, turn to the person next to you and explain to them why the date and venue changes happened.
It's fine
Good.
if you don't know. They don't either. So just...
Yeah, I mean, just make it up.
Yeah.
Just make it sound convincing. This is a little lesson in, let's say, public speaking. I don't know. I guess in public lying, we get that every day. Never mind.
It's
Carry
true.
on.
So, also, GP Nagoya has changed venues. It was at Fukiagi Hall, let's say. Now it will be at the Port Messe Nagoya. Port Messe Nagoya. Yeah, that. It'll be there. Nothing else changed. There's not even a date listed because it didn't change. It's just the venue. It was over there. Now it's over here. Everything else is the same. Got it? Okay.
Good.
Go team.
So if you were planning to go to either of those, desperately important, oh dear God. Okay? Okay.
Yeah, don't show up early in Australia because you won't live to see the event.
No, definitely not.
Now I'm curious, is that change reflected? Okay, yeah, it is changed on the schedule already. Good. By the way, Nagoya is October 12th through the 14th. It still is. It always was. Forever and ever, amen. Okay.
And always shall be, as was written.
So that's the important thing right there. Boom.
All right.
Next up, there was an issue when Dominaria released. By the way, Dominaria released. Hey.
Look at that. There were
Yeah.
pre-releases and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, have you guys been keeping up on the, never mind, I already know the answer to this question, on the story of Dominaria? You know, the official MTG fiction story
I came up with some of it.
coming out.
No, never.
I'm not like last week current, but I've read some of it.
It's actually pretty good. It's fairly compelling. I think you should read it.
Noted.
Yeah. I mean, I still won't, but...
I know, but I think you should. I enjoy disappointment, so I like to suggest that you do things that I know you won't do.
Fair enough. So, when Dominaria came out on Magic Online, apparently there was an issue. And some important percentage of foil... Was it foil legendaries?
Yes?
Yeah. Some fairly significant percentage of foil legendaries didn't exist for some reason. Some sort of card algorithm or algorithms for like the digital collation thing.
Yeah, the thing to understand, the difference between Magic Online packs and paper packs are that paper packs are technically cards that come off these giant sheets that are then collated by machines, which makes it nearly impossible to get two copies of the same card in your pack. There's just a full mechanical system that goes together that prevents that from happening. Magic Online packs are a little bit different because they randomly generate each of the cards in your pack and just check to make sure that you don't get the same one twice. And so that means that because the process is a little different, the Magic Online one can run into different problems than you could encounter in the paper ones.
Yeah, like, I severely doubt you'll ever get a card from the next set in a Magic Online booster.
That would be impressive.
But I also severely doubt that there will ever be a large swath of cards that literally don't exist in paper. So yeah, and the reason that this is known, just real quick, apparently on Magic Online, foils are actually more hassle to play with. So when you get foils, a large percentage of people just immediately offload them.
Yeah, I offloaded all of mine to bots.
Yeah, and though the bots and the people that run all of the bots and whatnot have this massive glut of foils, which they then use for redemption to get paper cards that they can then sell. Right?
Yeah.
But there was one in particular. Where is the link? Goat Bots, apparently, which is a large MTGO dealer chain, realized that they weren't getting any copies of most of the foil legends in the set. Like, they just weren't getting them. And if one of the large dealers isn't getting them, that means they probably don't exist, because they always get them all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. that's a thing. Only the foils, apparently?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not like there were just cards that people weren't getting, but there were foils that people weren't getting, which is very strange. And then on April 23rd, the Magic Online Twitter account said, those legendary creatures who were once less legendary are now super legendary with newly fixed legendary foils. How many more times can I say legendary?
More.
Legendary.
Legendary.
Hashtag MTGO, hashtag legendary. And that's all they said. So I'm guessing that was a cheeky little haha cute announcement that they fixed it. And of course people are complaining that there should be some sort of reimbursement because we couldn't get the things that we wanted, but whatever. They were full.
I can understand some of the requests for that. I can also understand why it wasn't honored.
Yeah, I think somebody that I saw asked, hey, I played in a bunch of these leagues, can I, file for reimbursement? And they were like, no.
Yeah.
Which I understand because, again, it's not like there were large swaths of cards that didn't exist. It was just the foil versions, which the impact for any one person is going to be almost negligible.
Yeah, the main gripe on them not existing is that it means that all foils have no redemption value at all because you need a full set to do it. And if no one can get a full set, then they are all worthless.
Yeah, but they fixed that. I don't know what that's going to mean for the rarity of the one that there were every pack opened for the first however long didn't have these foils and now suddenly they do, which means that they're more rare than the ones who did.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any data on any of that. I'm just saying these are the issues. And there's more to it than you might think just from listening to me talk. Because Magic Online is tied to the paper economy, this will have repercussions, unless they figure out some way to fix it. Which presumably they are. I don't know. I don't make the news, I just report it.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's that. What else? All right. The tournament rules and policy changes. Oh my god.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, this happens every time there's a new set, for the most part.
Yep.
But they made some pretty big changes this time compared to normal. Usually so there's a thing that handles this and the rules now. That's usually just comp rules. The MTR changes, there's usually a little tweak here. So we changed this section to make this language more clear because of this thing that came up. Oh, cool. Now there's a lot.
We added something to the game, and this is what it does.
Yeah, well, tournament rules updates usually don't care about that unless there's something weird.
Yeah.
And even then, sometimes they wait until the next one, like the City's Blessing. So,
fair enough.
So a couple of big things. So you know how when you're on coverage, when you're watching a coverage match.
Oh, yeah, sure.
There's always the game is laid out the same way every time. Here's where your library goes. Here's where your lands go. Here's where your creatures go. That sort of thing, right?
Right.
Yes.
Well, now, or whenever these go live, which they might have already? I don't actually know. This is from last week, so this could be live already. It doesn't say.
Well, let's look at the effective April the 27th. Yes, these are effective right now.
Okay, there you go then. So now, if you're playing in a competitive or a professional rules enforcement level, those layout rules are now just how you play.
Yes, the relevant section that folks might want to look at in the Magic Tournament rules is section 4.6. That will answer pretty much all of your questions. No, it won't. You'll just have new ones. But important takeaways. If I may I, gentlemen?
Oh, by all means.
Step in here.
Hold on. Here's a box. It says soap on it. Go
yeah, please dust that off so I can.
Oh, I don't have to dust it off. You use it often.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so here's the important bits. Okay, your lands need to be closer to you than your non-lands. Okay, so all you folks who are lands in front, too bad. Don't come complaining to me. It's not my mind you need to change. I don't care. Okay, great. Non-creature permanents who could be either a land or a non-land, so like an artifact who has a mana ability, you can put that in either place. That's totally cool, okay? But creatures that could also do mana stuff, we're looking at you, Dryad Arbor, must be placed in the non-land area. So no more taking your stupid from the vault Dryad Arbor that looks like a forest and putting it with your forest so that your opponent thinks that you have no creatures. You can't do that anymore. So stop it. Good. Let's see now. Other interesting bits. Here, this one I actually do find kind of interesting.
Can you just actually envision Cluze with a squirt bottle standing over someone waiting?
I can.
Yeah. Oh, I would like that.
I see that Dryad Arbor.
I would like that a lot. Here's one for you, okay? And this is this may piss a few people off. I doubt it, but we'll see. The player's library, graveyard, and exiled cards should be kept all to the left of the battlefield or all to the right of the battlefield at the player's discretion. So you don't split them up. Don't put graveyard over there and library over here. No. Keep those together.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, me too.
At least you get to pick whether it's on the left or the right, because if they tried to tell me to put it over there and it's the opposite of where I usually have it, that would actually irk me.
Yeah, me too. I often do it based on the artwork on my playmat.
I do it based on where the guy sitting next to me is keeping the drink that shouldn't be on the table.
Oh, well, you should tell him to get that off the table. I don't think that's actually explicitly in here, but he should totally get that off the table.
I agree.
Let's see now. Anything else cool in this section? Oh, each untapped permanent should face its controller. Players are permitted to turn a card upside down as a memory aid. So all of you Elves players, you can go ahead and keep doing that.
Do flip cards care about that?
Yeah, that's where things get complicated. Well, since you mention it here, I'll go ahead and say that the most important rule anywhere in this document that everyone needs to know is 3.13 in the Magic Tournament rules, which I shall now read in its entirety. It won't take long, I promise. Tapped/flipped cards. If a card must be tapped or flipped, it must be turned approximately 90 degrees, tapped, or 180 degrees, flipped, whichever is appropriate. I'm looking at you, MTG Arena. Tap your damn cards.
Oh my God, Grandpa.
Okay. Well,
It's
you gave me the
digital.
soapbox. What exactly did you expect?
So
All right. So hey, that's that bit about keeping that. Do you want to talk more about player communication?
Sure. We've got
There's a real important one.
We've got a new thing that should have been common knowledge, but angle shooters and rules lawyers are kind of jerks. So
Yep. There is literally a new kind of information in town. That information has always been around. We just came up with a name for it so that we could call it out specifically. It used to be that it was free, derived, and private information, and those three things had very specific meanings depending on your rules enforcement level and what you did or did not have to tell your opponent. Well, there is another one. Status. Status information is information that must be announced upon change and physically tracked by the affected player. So, this is important stuff like life totals, counters that a player has on them, like poison counters, for instance. Stop playing poison. And things like continuous effects with no defined expiration within the game that apply to that player, such as Monarch or City's Blessing. So this is one of those things where, hey, when you get the City's Blessing, you need to tell, number one, you need to tell everybody that you've got the city's, everybody involved in the game. You don't have to stand up and shout, I've got the city's blessing. You just have to tell your opponent, and you have to have a physical way to represent it so that everyone involved knows. Okay. So
and in the case of the Monarch, you need to be able to then remove that should you lose the Monarch.
Right. We suggest hats. That's not in here, but we suggest it.
we meaning the three of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bonus points if it's actually a crown.
Yes. Bring a tiara is my advice.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, there you go. Also, I do want to specifically call out this at competitive and professional REL. So this includes competitive, okay, competitive REL, GPs, for instance. Methods that can easily be accidentally changed, such as dice, may not be used. So stop using dice for your life total. Get a piece of paper and something to write with. And no, do not keep track of it on the back of your match results slip. I mean it. Don't. That's not a joke. we need the back of your match result slip to give you the penalty that you're going to get in just a minute.
Quote Cluze. You're
That's
now
right.
wet.
I need my spray bottle. All right, those are the two biggies. I feel like there was something else in the policy change, though, that I wanted to call out.
Was there?
I feel like...
the proxy cards.
Yeah. Okay,
that's important.
So, hey, you guys remember Kess?
Yeah.
You know, Kess, Dissident Mage, only available in foil.
Yeah.
Kind of might have had some curling problems. And people were like, hey, why can't the judge just issue me a proxy for that? Well, because that's not what proxies were for. Proxies were specifically only made for a tournament, usable only in that tournament, for cards which became damaged during that tournament. It wasn't, I've got this expensive card that I don't want to use the real copy, or I've got this beat up card that I don't want to use the real copy. It had a specific thing that it was for. Well, we've got this problem. There are some cards in Magic that were only ever printed in foil, such as Kess, Dissident Mage. If a card was only printed in foil, the head judge can issue you a proxy for it for use in that tournament. But this is only true for cards that only were printed in foil. If there was a non-foil printing, whether you own it or not, it is not going to be proxied.
And also, that's only in the cases where it's marking your deck to include it.
Right.
Like, this isn't just, this is my awesome, only foil thing. If they can reasonably sleeve it and shuffle it and not identify it, in your deck from the other side, then no. Just be aware.
Interesting.
So, will they ever make foil checklist cards? And if so, can I get them to screw up and accidentally print one of the checklist cards only in foil so that you have to proxy your checklist card for your double-faced card?
Cluze, you should use your mind for better things.
You really should.
Yeah.
All right. So,
speaking of retiring crazy things, Block is dead.
Yes, long live Block.
No, Block is dead.
It has gone to the extended in the sky.
Block constructed is over, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because we don't have blocks anymore. And also because, no one cares. But mainly because we don't have blocks anymore. There's no such thing as block constructed anymore. So there you go.
Take that, intangible virtue banning.
And yeah, if you want to check out all of these things, because a bunch of this is very important, then the link to both the actual tournament rules release notes and to Toby Elliott's blog, where he goes into detail about all of these things, well, some of these things. Both of those links are in the show notes for your perusal.
Hashtag MTR 3.13.
Sure. Don't
include dots in your hashtags.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work, but
no, spell out dot D-O-T 3 D-O-T 1-3. There we go.
All right. So that's
anyway, moving on. Last week there was also a ban list announcement for Commander. Nothing. Okay, moving on.
Go team.
Same as the. There's actually more explanation in that one than there was in the official one, which was no changes. This one was like, yeah, we think everything's good, and so we didn't change anything. The other one was like, no changes. What is next? Okay, we have a new Director of Operations at Wizards of the Coast. And the main thing is here, what's his name? Tim
O'Hara.
Who is telling us that this is a big, PR nonsense, but the main thing is here, they're rolling out a new coding method for cards in English Dominaria booster packs. And if you played at a pre-release or anything like that, you might have noticed that the cards feel a little bit different. That's because they have a new coding.
They really do. Like, I didn't think I would notice, but I could.
So, good or bad? I did not make it to a pre-release. I have not yet had a chance to handle these cards.
I didn't really notice once I sleeved them, so I don't care.
Perfect. So they still fit in sleeves then.
Oh yeah, they didn't change the size or anything.
Okay, because I thought they might have just put a real big thick like lacquer on there.
Just shellac all the cards.
That's right. They're now essentially sleeved. They come out of the pack sleeved, essentially.
That's for the next From the Vault. The next weird From the Vault set, so that they can justify the cost. It's just going to pre-sleeve all your cards.
Nice.
I mean, I did laminate a Lord of Atlantis. So
you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and then you failed to drown him.
Yeah, he just won't drown, that little bastard. I keep trying. I guess next is fire. Ooh.
Okay. But, yeah, so Timahara's thing here about that. And then there's another link to Tom... how do you pronounce an A with the umlaut over it?
Strand?
What? No, it's over the first A.
Oh, I'm looking at it in the original one where they didn't use any of the umlauts. Okay.
Yeah, there's umlauts.
Is it Wannerstrand? Wannerstrand?
I think it would be Wannerstrand.
So Tom W. Has an article where he's talking about in depth about the new coding. Now,
yeah, and look, the coding is actually kind of a big deal. You know, it's not just that they feel a little different, or even that they smell a little different, because apparently they might. But the coding really does. I mean, the card is a package deal. You've got your paper, you've got your coding. The two work together to make the card durable but shuffleable. By the way, if you're shuffling your cards without sleeves, you're a monster, and I will get my spray bottle, but not until you put the cards down because they're not in sleeves. But it also does possibly, we're not admitting to anything, change how the cards might, I don't know, warp over time. We didn't say that out loud, and by we, I mean, was it Tom or Tim? Tom. Tom in his article here. But, the paper does need to essentially be able to breathe as humidity changes. So your cards are breathing. That's creepy. That's creepy.
So
anyway, I think this article is really just part of a longer term strategy by the nice folks at WotC to attempt to, let's say, reestablish trust in the quality of the physical product.
Yeah, it's a big push for transparency. Whether it actually is transparency or not is another thing, but in the odds and ends, we surmised that it's possible that Hasbro Legal won't actually let them acknowledge the whole foil curling issue.
That'd be my guess.
Because if they acknowledge it, that opens them up to potential, legal ramifications, possibly.
Also, you heard it here first, mere moments ago. Next up, transparent cards.
That is going to be a thing in, I'm going to say, in 2023, they're gonna print transparent cards.
No, I think it's 2020 because it's all about vision.
Oh, right.
I can set you guys up with some transparent pre-sleeved cards already. Don't take them out the sleeve.
I was gonna say, you're just trying to give us sleeves, aren't you?
They're pre-sleeved, perfect quality. You can see right through them.
Nice.
But
I say the mana pool on the back.
And don't give those away. But anyway, this is, I think, as close as they're going to get to ever acknowledging that that's an issue ever. So
yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. So there you go. If you want to read that, links are in the show notes. All right. That is everything from last week.
Hooray.
We're now caught up.
Yeah. So now we're just the normal amount of behind.
Yeah.
So, let's see. What else have we got? News from the editor. Odds and ends. Why does everyone want to call things odds and ends?
It's like it's a common phrase or something.
Man, that's a tribute. That's a tribute right there.
Yeah, to the Mana Pool.
This is your tribute band by Blake.
But yeah, Blake Rasmussen on the Wizards website, since he doesn't do the daily Magic update anymore, it's all been moved over to the front page. He doesn't have a place to just say things. So now there's an article here where he tells us things. For instance, Dominaria had the largest pre-release ever. Wow. More player... Okay, I think that's supposed to say players. More players played in more events and Dominaria pre-releases around the world than in any pre-release before, full stop, ever.
That's pretty crazy.
Plus, we had the highest number of new DCI number signups at a pre-release ever, which includes both new players and returning players who lost their DCR card in the washing machine, for nostalgia's sake.
Which, incidentally, if you're a player who is prone to forgetting what their DCI number is, it is the right number of digits to store as if it's a phone number, but be careful, don't call it.
So yeah, that's awesome. And I understand, other than like 2 people on Twitter bitching about how bad Sealed was, they were wrong. Sealed is amazing.
Or terrible, depending on your pool. Yes.
No. Even with a bad pool, it's still amazing. Like, the format, it doesn't matter how your pool is. The format is really good. And, yeah, I can only imagine that draft is even better, which it always is.
Oh, I'm sure the draft
But I mean,
great.
like way better. So, that's pretty awesome. Moving on, he says, Battle Bond previews start on May 21st. And, oh yeah, there's this little tidbit of news here. Sealed 2HG is usually 8 packs and Draft is usually 6 packs. But Battle Bond Sealed will be 6 packs instead of 8. And Draft will be 4. I don't know why he told us that here. I guess to make everyone go, wait, what? And try to figure it out.
Yeah, it was a weird thing to put up without context.
And I think that might be why. It's just to make people start theory crafting and just build up a little bit of hype for their next Draft Matters thing, which is Battle Bond.
And the important thing is Gavin will be back in May to explain what all that means. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So, whatever.
Hey, holy crap. May is like tomorrow.
It is.
Huh.
Yeah, it's in like 2 hours. For
It's
those
like
of you trying
time
to keep up with
keeps
when we
going
recorded.
forward.
I hear it keeps on slipping into the
In the
future.
future.
Oh.
Okay, moving on. There are 5 core set 2019 Planeswalker decks. So they're going to have 5 Planeswalker decks, 1 for each color, because core set, they say it's a great on-ramp for newer players, even though they decided years ago that it really wasn't, and that's why they stopped doing core sets. Whatever.
Yeah, but
Hey, we're doing both again.
Look, I told you, core sets are great. I knew it then.
Sure.
We all knew it. Okay, I knew it.
Sure.
Okay, so the big question, the most important question that they do not answer here, Nissa or Garrick?
Doesn't
'Cause
matter.
I miss that guy.
Still Cluze. You remember earlier when you're like, let's keep moving? You're keeping us from keeping moving. Okay. There are going to be 5 decks, 1 for each color. They're dropping the price from $14.99 to $10.99. And they're removing 1 of the 2 boosters.
Oh.
So they're cheaper by $4, but you're removing 1 booster, which comes to $4. So, hey!
Yeah, you can just buy another booster if you want the same old experience.
Exactly. And it says they've been designed to better integrate with welcome decks. Are those the little free ones?
Yeah, I think those are the little free ones.
Okay. I think. We're pretty sure.
Sounds right.
Also, Planeswalker decks will be sold at the open house 1 week prior to the Core Set 2019 pre-release, which is much earlier than before. Huh. Well, that's neat. I actually missed that paragraph before.
So, on that subject, kind of confusing thing about what happened with the Dominaria pre-release. So if you pre-ordered a box of Dominaria, we figured out that's the way to pronounce it, you could pick it up at the pre-release. But if you didn't make it to the pre-release and you wanted to go on, say, Monday and go pick it up, you couldn't. They wouldn't allow you to have it. WotC won't let you do that. You had to then wait until Friday when it actually released to get it, which is weird. And at least the store owners I have talked to about that said, yeah, that's really weird, and we kind of don't like how weird that is.
How would anyone ever know if they gave it to you on Monday instead of Saturday?
Because the WPN told them not to.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, the guidance that they got from WotC on this is what I just described, and it was weird, and it was weird.
So did you still get your stupid Minotaurs?
I will when I finally get a chance to pick it up, but I didn't because I was out of town this weekend.
Huh.
You know, when release actually happened, I was out of town and couldn't pick it up from the shop that.
Right.
So now this pre-order that you were supposed to get a week early.
Yes, I will now
because you couldn't be there that specific day. You now have to wait a week, which has turned into
which just
a
turned
week
into
plus.
like 9 days. Yeah,
But that's on that last part's on you, so that's fine.
yeah, that last part is on me.
But
yeah,
that's weird. Like if you couldn't make it to the pre-release,
what I'm saying,
unknowingly due to, I don't know, just randomly picked out of had a family emergency.
For instance, yes.
Yeah. Huh. That's awkward.
Yep, sure is. Anyway, sorry, I derailed us again. Back to
no. That was good because that's weird. I guess they really wanted people to go to the pre-release. I guess
they really did, and I really wanted to, but I really couldn't.
Really. Okay. What? Oh, there was one more thing on here. On the Magic Twitch channel, they're gonna have a weekly show, weekly MTG. Thursdays from 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. So 5 to 6 Eastern. Everywhere else, do your math. Let's see here. We'll be sharing news from inside the building, talking with the people who make the game, and doing fun things like opening a beta booster pack on air. Alright. Rosewater will be the first guest to be chatting with the author of the core set 2019 Story Arch, whose name we aren't announcing just yet.
Did we know that the core set was going to have a story? I've actually forgotten.
No, we don't know anything about the core set, except, hey, we're bringing the core set back, but not really. It's different.
And okay. I want to take all the credit for it coming back, unless it sucks, and then I want to take none of the credit. But I'm super stoked that it is.
I'm just surprised it's going to have a story. So, interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. And they're not announcing who's the author of the story, even though on Thursday, apparently, they're gonna do that.
That's a way to maybe get some people to show up and watch it. We'll see.
I guess.
And by we'll see, I mean we'll hear about it later. Because I don't think I'm going to make that. I'll be at work.
So yeah, there you go. It's Blake and Steve Sunu will be the two hosts, and they're going to have people from Inside Wizards to talk about Magic. So there you go. That actually sounds really cool. And yeah, there you go. Twitch.
There's also a link to one of their test episodes if you want to see what that was like.
So, very true. So that's twitch.tv/magic Thursdays.
I guess I'm going to have to subscribe.
That costs money.
I guess I'm going to have to favorite.
What's the word? No, on Twitch it's follow is the free word.
Follow. That's there's the verb.
You're going to have to digitally stalk it.
I'm going to have to go there and click a button of some sort.
All right. Moving on, other news. Kelly Diggs leaves Wizards.
Spontaneously.
Yeah. Says, as of now, I'm no longer WotC staff. This account is now my personal account. I'm not going to be tweeting much about Magic. I won't be offended if anyone chooses to unfollow. And he says, let's see here. I'm in need of neither consolation nor congratulation. It's like, everything's fine. Then everything's fine. So, alright. I don't remember what his position was because his Twitter account no longer says it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been at Wizards for apparently 11 years. Well, he's been working on Magic for 11 years. And now he is not. So, that's a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, wasn't he in creative by the end of it?
I legitimately do not remember.
Gotcha.
I don't keep track of what other people's jobs are. I barely know what mine is.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, we wish Kelly the best of luck, and also damn. That's like on, in Hearthstone, recently, both Ben Brode and the other guy. Two people just announced they were leaving Blizzard. Ben Brode is the Mark Rosewater of Hearthstone. And the other guy, whose last name is Chu, I think, was like the story guy, I think, between like Overwatch and Hearthstone or something like that. So, yeah, just lots of people leaving things all the time. Oh my god. It's crazy. It happens.
The only constant is change.
C?
Also C.
So what about G? Capital G.
Capital G, sure. That is universal, so that's cool. Oh, and Planck's constant, pretty important.
What about foe? Wait, no, that's soup. Never mind.
Yeah, but it's really good.
It is, yeah. Killer Digs. Okay, they updated Magic Arena. There's a big long list of stuff.
Do the cards tap all the way now?
No, the cards don't tap all the way in. Well, I mean, they might, but no, they don't.
No, they don't.
They list all of the, like, things here in this state of the beta. And then it says at the bottom, this is the thing I ranted about, it says, and more in the patch notes. And there's no link to the damn patch notes. So thanks for that, Chris Clay. But anyway, so they've added Dominaria. They're going to start having events. So quick constructed and quick draft. They've added draft in quotes. Draft isn't really draft.
What? So
you draft with seven other AIs. So it's you and 7 AIs. But then you play against other people who also drafted with AIs.
So the pool means nothing? Or did we all have the same pool?
I don't know.
Was it the mana pool?
No, they took that out.
No, they didn't take it out. It's just not on the cards anymore.
I know, it just messes with
Damn it.
Oh, I set it up and he spiked it. It was great.
I hate you both. So yeah, they're doing quick constructed, which are best of one events, and it's sort of like Arena in Hearthstone. You get either 7 wins or 3 losses, whichever comes first, and you're done, and your prize scales up accordingly.
Rule 1.
See, the listeners have no idea why you said that, because I muted myself in OBS.
Just after, yeah.
No, I mean in OBS, so the recording didn't pick up my horrible coughing fit there.
Oh, okay, well, Rule 1. This is your periodic reminder of Rule 1.
Listeners, no dying.
Yes.
But there's quick constructed and quick draft, which again is 7 wins or 3 losses, whichever comes first. They have entry fees and whatnot. They've overhauled the way the economy works, making it making it less grindy. They've tweaked how much gold you get. They've tweaked how quests work. They've gotten rid of the individual card rewards from daily wins. So now when you get a win, you don't get some random common and go, thanks. The vault gives you mythic wildcards now. A mythic wildcard, 2 rares, 3 uncommons. The vault progress has been rebalanced. Basically, the way that they've worded it here, it sounds like all of these changes culminate in card acquisition is less grindy, which is good. That was my number 1 concern about the game when they first announced it, and my number 2 reason to not play. After I did play, I was like, this is going to take too long and it is literally not worth the time. But they've tweaked it, so it should be better and faster. So that's good. They've also added the ability to buy gems with real money. And any gems that you purchase with real money during the closed beta will be given back to your account after the final account wipe at the end of the closed beta. So if you decide to throw $10 in to buy some gems are the other currency used to buy packs and stuff, then
they are truly outrageous.
They are. Then when they do the final account wipe and the game goes into, I guess, open beta, you'll get those $10 of gems back to then spend again. They won't give you your money back, but they'll give you your gems back.
Yeah.
No.
And the yield on the 10-year T-note is 2.955%. Because, see, they fixed the economy.
That was a little
There's like 8 people listening who got that.
Yeah, I know, but the 8 who did. The 8 who did. And you're listening to Marketplace.
Anyway. So, yeah, they've got economy tweaks, events, draft, Dominaria. There you go. They say there are a few more bits of polish, added animated deck boxes. All right, that's whatever. They've updated the deck selection so you can select your deck without a scene transition from the homepage. Thank goodness, because that's really stupid. They've updated the look of the deck list in Deck Builder to allow for easier parsing of deck contents. I haven't seen that, so I don't know what it means. And then there's the infamous "and more in the patch notes." ... with no link to the patch notes. Jesus Christ.
No patch notes for you.
So yeah, those of you that are in the closed beta, myself included, should really give it a try and see how it feels.
Hey, you gonna stream that?
Probably not, because it infuriates me.
Very well.
But I did go on a nice long rant on the day after I streamed Arena for the second time, bringing my total Arena playtime close to 10 hours, 9.5, 10 hours, something like that. I was streaming Hearthstone the next day, and Cluze popped up and asked, and after the game, I was in the game, so I ignored it. And after I finished the game, I just ranted for, it was something like 17 minutes, because I had to download the stream later to cut bits out, and I was gonna turn that into a YouTube video, and then they made these changes. So I'm like, well, never mind. Some of that stuff still applied for the reasons that I didn't want to stream it anymore, but a bunch of them were at least, well, a bunch. The card acquisition thing was at least addressed, so I ended up not turning that into why I'm not going to play Arena YouTube video. But the UI is still kind of awful. There's still absolutely no clarity on things. There's still things I don't understand, even though they're on the screen, and chat has to explain them to me, which is dumb. That chat has to explain something to me in the game that I'm playing, because there's no way to know. But anyway, I'm not here to rant about Arena. If you want to know more about this, the link to the forum thread is in the show notes. And if you find the patch notes, God bless you. More stuff. I think we decided not to mention this, but it'll only take a second. Hasbro Gaming. I don't know what that would be called. Hasbro Gaming.
The gaming division of Hasbro.
There we go. Of Hasbro is down 22% from the first quarter last year. We're pretty sure that Toys R Us being destroyed for profit had a large negative effect, and they even say that here in the financial review thing, whatever this is called. Where'd it go? First quarter 2018 revenues were negatively impacted across all brand portfolio categories by the liquidation of Toys R Us in the US and UK, along with uncertainty in its other operations, as well as retail inventory overhang primarily in Europe. So there you go. Hasbro's gaming division is down 22% from last year, but there are reasons. Everything's fine. It's not the end of the world. Calm down. Okay? Okay. And finally, before we get to this week's tournaments, because there weren't tournaments last week, because pre-release, there is on custominc.com. There's a Wizards of the Coast fundraiser for the Lambert House, possibly Lambert House. I don't know how you pronounce these things. Net profits. Okay, here we go. Wizards of the Coast and Lambert House are partnering to kick off Pride season. Net profits of this sale will benefit Lambert House, a center for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youth. The Lambert House empowers youth through the development of leadership, social, and life skills by offering over 20 programs, activities, resources, and services on an ongoing year-round basis. Funds will go toward helping the Lambert House buy a permanent home for the LGBTQ youth community. Their goal is to continue to provide services to LGBTQ. Hang on. Let me start that sentence over. Their goal is to continue to provide services to LGBTQ youth and expand their outreach, and we want to help. Thank you for your support. And what this is a shirt, or a hoodie, or... Oh, wow. So we've got shirts, a tank top, a crewneck sweatshirt, a youth shirt, or a hoodie. Huh, that's cool. With the Planeswalker symbol.
That's awesome.
That the Planeswalker symbol has the rainbow pride coloration. And I think there is also one for D&D. There is,
yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want a kick-ass shirt and to help... I couldn't get to the mute button. Excuse me. If you want to buy a kick-ass shirt and help support the Lambert House, then by all means, link is in the show notes. I will even drop... What? Shut up, pop-up. I will even drop a link to the D&D one as well.
Sweet.
Wow. Okay. The D&D one is killing it, dude.
It is, yeah.
The Magic one has raised, as of right now, as of this recording, $7,560. The D&D one has raised $36,340. Dang! Huh. So, there you go. Go check that out. Buy a shirt. Support a good cause. And it just really is a badass shirt. Like, I don't buy shirts, and I'm looking at this going, huh. You know? Huh. So is that everything before we get to the tournaments? That was everything, right?
I think that's all the non-tournament stuff.
So, yeah.
All right. So, tournaments. Let's do the GPs first. They're nice and easy.
Okay.
All right.
Because the tournament... Hang on, let me add this D&D one to the... There we go. So we had 2 GPs this weekend. GP Columbus, which was... These are both team limited. So Columbus had 443 teams, which is 1,329 people. And... yeah. It's Columbus. It's team sealed, so there's not anything to talk about as far as we're concerned. So let's just tell you who won. If this is to be believed, the team that won is David Goldfarb, Edgar... I got nothing. Like, I don't even know how to start. Miguel Hayes? Magal Hayes?
Hold on.
Mogul Hayes?
Magal Hayes? Magal... Edgar M. and Jacob Baugh? One of those. Won first place. Terribly sorry for screwing up your name horribly. Second place, Jeremy Levrenz, James Levrenz, and Jake Lamb. Third place, Kellen Pastor, Steve Noga, and Daniel Barkon. And fourth place was Sam Black, I've heard of that guy. Matt Severa, I've heard of that guy. And Andrew Beckstrom, I've heard of that guy. Huh, look at that. Get 3 good players together and they do well at a team event. That's weird.
It sounds like that could happen.
Yeah. So, there you go. That's Columbus.
Yay. Hopefully,
Look at those
teams
icy
win Columbus.
manipulators.
They went and got Skyline.
Icy manipulators are brutal in limited.
Yes.
I was lucky enough in the pre-release to not actually run into any anywhere.
You were lucky.
Yeah, because it's brutal, dude.
You know people can run more than one of those.
Yeah. And I'm guessing they did.
Yeah.
Then we go to GP Bologna, where this one had a round number. 480 teams played, which was 1,440 players. And this is not the button I wanted. Tournament results. Haha, found it. So who won? Antonio Pinto, David Miani, and Usama Sajad. Let's say. That's close. Won first place. In second place, we have Matthew Folks, Fabrizio and Terry. I know that guy. And Peter Ward. Fabrizio and Terry. Really? Hasn't it been a while? Oh, he's qualified for the Pro Tour again. Hey, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
Way to go.
He's an old school player. So that's awesome. Third place. Nope. This is Columbus. How did I get back here?
Wrong term in Albuquerque.
Apparently. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Third place was Jonas Eloranta, Jory Huka, and Mari Kuisma. Let's say. I've completely screwed those up. I'm very sorry.
Probably, yeah.
In fourth place, Andre Rutar, Robin Dolar, and Davor Deteknik.
Is it Robin or Robin?
What did I say? Because it's
You
probably
said
the other
Robin.
one. It's probably. I did? I'm sorry. We're just going to call them all Josh from now on. All of you
I'm going to
people
call
are
you Josh.
But yeah, that's the top 4. Well done. Apparently Karn was walking around in Bologna.
Oh, yeah, I saw pictures of this on Twitter.
Like a giant 7-foot tall Karn cosplay. It's walking around.
I hope they made him wipe off his shoes at the door, or they might have problems.
Right? Oh god, there's an Instagram picture of him looking down at this tiny little girl. Let's hope she doesn't become a Phyrexian. That would be awful.
She's a half-half. What could happen?
Get it, little girl? Okay. So there you go. Now let's go to the hiccups. Let's go to Star City. Star City was in Atlanta this weekend. So that's
SCG Peachtree.
Yeah. So we've got team... What is this? Team Trios, Team Constructed, whatever. All right, hiccups. Seriously, I'm trying to podcast here. Dude, shut up. Yeah, this is the thing where it's 3 teammates, 1 person playing Standard, 1 playing Modern, 1 playing Legacy.
Yeah.
We're going to focus slightly more on the Standard portion of this, even though, because it's a team format, the metagame isn't...
Don't read too much into this.
Yeah, it's not quite as reliable because...
Yeah.
You know,
you can have the suckiest Standard deck ever, and it will still make it really far if the Modern and Legacy are great, and that applies to all 3 of the format.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Who won? The first place team was Rudy Brixa. Hey, buddy. Playing Blue-White Control in Standard. We're going to hear a lot of that later. Brian Basoko playing Humans in Modern, and Jonathan Job playing White-Red Taxes in Legacy. Okay, second place, Kwame Gunn, Will Pulliam, and Cat Light. Third place, Luke Browning, Justin Giebing, one of those, and Kyle Palmer. Fourth place was Dan Jessup, Andrew Jessup, and Brad Carpenter. Fifth place, Paul Muller, Caleb Scherer, and Julian John. Sixth place, John Philip Whetstone, Jesse Hefner, and Travis Gibson. Seventh place, Rio Trevathan. Yeah. Benjamin Reagan.
Trevathan.
Yeah, that. And Austin Collins. And then the top 8 is rounded out by Will Cruz, Todd Anderson, and Phil Smith. So, yeah, hell yeah. That's your top 8. Again, since it's a team thing, we're not really gonna look too hard. Although I do want to see what people are playing. Second place was Standard was a red-black aggro deck, which was... Wait, this is essentially pre-Dominaria Standard. Okay. Matter of fact, it might be pre-Dominaria Standard. Looks like it is. Okay.
There really were only a couple of non-pre-Dominaria cards in that blue-white control deck.
Yeah.
I mean, they were important cards, don't get me wrong, but...
yeah, I mean, Teferi and... Seal Away, Blink of an Eye. Yeah, get used to that. You're going to hear a lot of it here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Third place, Standard Sultai Constrictor, which is... If this is like the one I saw earlier, this is also almost completely pre-Dominaria. Yup, okay. Except for maybe something in the sideboard. Nope. Okay. Fourth place is another red-black aggro. Very similar to the other one. Standard. Fifth is red-black vehicles. Anything nifty going on here? Karn.
Karn, yes.
Yeah. 4 copies.
Mind you, 4 Karns.
Yeah. I've seen some unusually high numbers of Karn in this first week's Standard, so... So what is Karn do again? Reveal the top 2 cards of your library. An opponent chooses one. That one goes in your hand. The other one goes into exile with a silver counter. That's +1. -1, put a card you own with a silver counter on it from exile into your hand. And then the -2 gives you the 0/0 construct that gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. In some of those decks that I've seen him in, that last ability is completely worthless. And you're really...
Karn's card advantage most of the time.
Yeah, and you have multiples because those cards in exile with silver counters are just always there, so if you play another Karn, you can still get them.
Yeah, you can pick up where you left off, and honestly, the normal problem of having too many copies of a legendary thing are that the extra copies are dead in your hand. That's not the case here, because aside from playing the next one as soon as the last one goes away. You're digging further in your deck anyway.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
But the fact that they don't... The fact that it doesn't matter which Karn... It's not like you exile those cards and then the minus ability says, put a card exiled with Karn, Sign of Urza, into your hand. Because then it wouldn't go from Karn to Karn. And if you exiled a couple of cards with Karn and then he got blown up, those other cards are just gone. But because they're exiled with a silver counter and he only looks for cards with a silver counter, they're just always there. It's essentially another little small library to tutor from.
Yeah. This is learning from things that used to be a problem. Yeah. And I appreciate it.
But that was... That place. That was 5th place. Standard mono red aggro. Ooh. Does this have Goblin Chainwhirler? It does!
That guy's good.
And that's it, actually. It's the mono red aggro deck from before with 4 Goblin Chainwhirlers. Which, really?
There
cool
are worse
with that.
things.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Then there's another blue-white control deck. Is this... Yep, very similar. And then... Another mono red aggro deck. Yep, very similar.
Yep.
And then another mono red aggro deck. Yep, very similar. Okay, so let's go to the next tournament then. So there you go. That was your top 9 standard decks. How many people played in this? I actually didn't say that. 293 teams, 879 players. That's a lot of people, right? For an open?
Yes. Considering it required having a standard deck and new cards just came out.
That's true, yeah.
It's probably also why you didn't see a whole bunch of stacks of new cards right there in the event we were just talking about.
All right, so let's go check out the standard classic, where Charles Porges, one of those, won with the green-black Constrictor deck, which is a green-black Constrictor deck that we've seen before with the addition of Karn and Adventurous Impulse, which was used to great effect at the pre-release.
Yeah, and you've got some other cards on the board.
Yeah,
Phyrexian Scriptures.
There's a Phyrexian Scriptures in the board. That's pretty funny.
Probably shouldn't read those.
Probably not.
At least they're written not in Phyrexian.
Thank goodness. And also, a big shout out to my boy, Thrashing Bronto Dave, who's been showing up in a bunch of these decks. Good old Bronto Dave. Love that guy. Second place, William Heiss. Heiss? What is it with me and names today? It seems
Today?
It seems worse than usual, is my point.
Oh, okay.
I think they've been throwing you more curveballs, too.
So this is a blue-white historic deck. So you've got your Torrential Gearhulk, which makes sense. Your Walking Ballista. Okay, they're both artifact creatures. Merfolk Trickster. The thing that... the 2/2 with flash, when it enters the battlefield, you tap target creature an opponent controls, and it loses all abilities until the end of turn. So that's important.
Yep.
You've got Lyra Dawnbringer and Wrath Capashen. Gotta figure out how to say that, because I'm going to be saying it a lot. And also 2 copies of Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, because he's really good.
You're running blue-white.
Yeah.
Something just auto-played for just a split second. I apologize, listeners. I don't know what that was.
So, question, while we're here.
Okay. Wait,
This
should I finish the rest of the deck?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Over in the non-creature, non-planeswalker, we've got some of the things you'd expect. Settle the Wreckage, Commit to Memory. It's pretty good. The new stuff, Wizard's Retort, because Wrath and the Merfolk Trickster are wizards. You've got History of Benalia, which is a threat by itself.
Yeah.
Seal Away, Blink of an Eye. Oh, and I guess that's everything. Okay. Then in the board, anything else new going on here? More Teferi. Wow. So, yeah. Oh, and there's 2 Memorial to Genius in the deck, too. Oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's old school blue-white control stuff there. Have a thing that just sits there and does a thing until you have more mana than you ever need, and then you draw cards.
Yeah.
Wow, that's classic.
Yeah, it's probably the best card in that cycle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a good cycle, but that's obviously the most constructed friendly one.
So that's the deck. So Cluze.
Also note the Field of Ruin, which is probably more relevant now that people are running cards like Memorial to Genius. There's actually a reason to blow
that blows up the non-basic and everybody goes to get a basic. Yeah.
Yep.
That's more relevant now than it was before.
True. So, okay, Cluze, what did you have?
So, this deck here, it is called Blue-White Historic.
Yes.
So, historic spells are artifacts, legendaries, and sagas.
Correct.
So does this mean that we are eventually going to start calling affinity decks historic decks?
No.
I mean, we already call them affinity when there's no affinity, so let's say yes.
See, that's kind of where I was going.
We're also going to call them regeneration decks. Also phasing.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't realize where you were going with that. Yes,
also,
okay, we can call them phasing. Mana burn?
Flanking.
Flanking, yes, okay. Ninjutsu?
This one is called Blue-White Historic because Wrath lets you cast historic spells as though they had flash. So you can just vomit out a Lyra Dawnbringer at the end of your opponent's turn and watch them turn a slight shade of gray.
Or during the combat step.
Can you cast it to Fairy with flash? It's legendary.
Yeah, you can.
You could,
so you could just flash that out at the end of their turn and they can just flip the table and walk away forever.
I mean, I would rather cast him on my turn and go ahead and use his ability, but I guess it depends on what you think they're going to be attacking.
You'd have access to free ATMs. There'd be no monthly service fees.
But then you have your...
And account access would be easy, wherever.
Mute site. Okay, something in this tab just started auto-playing, and I literally don't see anything playing. It's just audio started playing and scared the crap out of me. I apologize, listeners. There's no video. Why is there audio?
I would recommend muting the browser.
Yeah, I muted Star City Games, so...
But yeah, fair point. If you want to pass with mana up, then if you don't have to, retort anything or whatever, then it's fine.
And also, barfing out a History of Benalia at the end of your opponent's turn, getting a knight, next turn getting another knight, that seems really good.
That's pretty funny, yeah. Or just in general, doing any of this during combat to throw things off is pretty sick. Like, the amount of things that your opponent can do when they have a Wrath out is scary. And they also benefit from doing nothing, because they can drop something at the end of your turn. It's exactly what a blue-white control deck wants to do. It's just based on the historic mechanic here.
Yep. Yeah. So you heard it here first. Bolt the Wrath.
That's probably a good idea anyway.
I mean, and if
it's a 3/3 flyer.
This deck is also running Blink of an Eye and Wizard's Retort, so that might not work. But by all means, give it a shot.
I think that if you've got the ability to bolt things, that's probably going to be your priority target. Both for the, all the tricky nonsense that we were just saying, and for the fact that it's a 3/3 flyer.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough. It's not like you just cast it and then you sit back and you're in a good position. No, you're going to still be attacking with this. Like, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So, in third place, and I swear earlier this was also listed as Blue-White Historic, and they've since changed it, because I remember going, this is not the same deck. Well, this is Rajarshi Colaventi. Excuse me, Colaventi. Running a blue-white approach deck, which runs 1 Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, and then just all of the things that you would expect to, oh god, don't kill me. Cast out, seal away, disallow, essence scatter, glimmer of genius, settle the wreckage, syncopate, search for Ascanta, fumigate, and of course, approach of the second sun. You've also got your Arch of Orozca, your Field of Ruin, which, like Bill said, is much more important now. It was already always there. Now it's more important. So, yeah. Approach of the Second Sun. Oh, goody. Fun and interactive. That was a joke.
Lyra just hanging out on the board.
Yeah, there is...
With Gideon and Teferi.
Yeah, there's an Invoke the Divine, which I didn't expect. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, gain 4 life. Alright. And then 3 copies of Lyra, because transformational sideboard, 2 copies of Gideon of the Trials, and another Teferi. They're just chilling. Also, your torrential gear hulks are in the board. Like, the pre-board of this is just hard control. And
like, actually, how's it killing you?
Approach of the Second Sun.
Is it just approach? Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, all right, all in.
And maybe, like, a secondary possibility is the Teferi emblem eventually in a super long, miserable game?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, really and truly, the first game is, if I win, then cool. We're probably not going to see game 3. And if I lose, quickly swap into a deck that's more aggro because you don't have time to win 2 and 3. So, nice.
So there you go. Now, in 4th place, John Farrow has a blue-white control deck, which is running Teferi, Torrential Gear Hulk, and then your normal spells that you would expect. Cast out, Steal Away, Blink of an Eye, Commit to Memory, Disallow, Hieroglyphic Illumination, Settle the Wreckage, Syncopate, Search for Azcanta, Fumigate. It's just all of the removal, and the Save Me, and the card draw, and and Teferi and Gear Hulk. Again with the 3 Lyra and 2 Oketra in the board. Because sometimes you just need to beat face against some decks.
Yeah.
And then in 5th place, Brennan DeCandio is running a very
similar deck.
A very similar deck.
Like, some of the cards are different, but overall the structure is the same.
I mean, in the board he's got History of Benalia instead of Oketra, for example. But it's the same idea. In 6th place, Joseph Anderson is running a mono-red aggro deck, which is, again, the mono-red aggro deck from before with 4 copies of Goblin Chainwhirler, because that card is insane.
Yeah, I like the Fight with Fire in the board.
Yeah, and there's Fight with Fire in the board. There are a bunch of Fight with Fire showing up in these aggro decks. Some in the main. Fight with Fire, if you'll recall, 5 damage to target creature for 3 mana at sorcery speed, or for 5 and a red kicker, so 9 mana. It deals 10 damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. So you could 10 damage to the face if you so choose.
Which you probably will at that point.
Probably, yeah. But, yeah, the main deck is that red deck from before with Goblin Chainwhirler. Which, it seems fun. Cluze, I hear you like Goblin Chainwhirler.
Yeah, big fan. Love his work.
In 7th place, Robert Vaughn is running a mono-red God Pharaoh's Gift deck. Yeah.
Oh,
did you just see it?
Yeah. So I'm just thinking about God Pharaoh's gifting
what?
Goblin Chainwhirler.
Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to, because then I'd have a 4/4 first strike with haste.
This is the way Cluze sees escalation.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think the more important thing is the God Pharaoh's Gift, a combat celebrant. I'll give you a second.
Okay, that seems pretty good too.
I'll give you a second to reread Combat Celebrant. Because
I'm gonna go back to this Goblin Chainwhirler.
It's okay with the Celebrant. You can whirl that chain twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, no, it's just.
I want the 1 damage when I come in.
Yeah, it's just the combat.
Oh, that's stuff. Fair.
But yeah, Combat Celebrant. For those of you that don't remember, you can exert it when it attacks, and if you do, you untap all other creatures you control, and after this phase, you get an additional combat phase. So, that seems really good with God Pharaoh's Gift when you have a 4/4 Combat Celebrant.
You could God Pharaoh's Gift a Siege Gang commander.
You could, because they're in the board.
Oh, that seems great.
Oh, but they don't have the new art on the auto card. Lame.
Oh.
And again, there's Fight with Fire in the board. But yeah, this deck is... It's almost a mono-red aggro deck. It's still got the Bomet Courier. It's got Walking Ballista, the Combat Celebrant, Fanatical Firebrand, Goblin, Goblin Chainwhirler, Goblin, Skark Prospector, Goblin, Wily Goblin, Goblin and Ramp.
And a pirate.
And then you've got the Rowdy Crew, which is actually... There are a bunch of these that I've seen. Rowdy Crew is a 3/3 with Trample. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards at random. Okay? If 2 cards that share a card type are discarded this way, the Rowdy Crew gets 2 +1/+1 counters. So if you discard 2 creatures in your deck of 30 creatures, then you have a 5/5 with trample.
That sounds likely.
Yeah. Sounds like a thing that happens often enough to run 4 Rowdy Crew. Which, again, you'll hear more of that as we go on. There's also Fight with Fire in the board again, because why not? So that was... Who is that? That was Robert Vaughn. In 8th place, Aaron Larson is running a Bant approach deck, which has no creatures. This is, again, straight up approach of the Second Sun. Thaumatic Compass. What does that flip into? I can never remember. Click to see other side. The Spires.
Fires of Araska.
Oh, that's the Maze of Ith. Okay. So yeah, the Compass flips into the Maze of Ith thing. Authority of the Consuls. And then things that gain life. There's Gift of Paradise. Oh, there's Ixalan's Binding. Oh, I missed that. There's Approach of the Second Sun, of course. Hour of Promise. Spring to Mind. And then in the board, there's 3 Carnage Tyrant and 3 Regal Caracal. Carousel? Sarasol? I don't know how you say that name.
Regal Aerosol.
The Regal, kitty face.
Smug Cat.
So, yeah.
As opposed to...
Smug Dog.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, okay, all right.
So yeah, another hard control deck. This one in Bant colors. There you go. 9th place, Peter Cadell is running another blue-white control deck. Very similar. It's got that Nezahal Primal Tide in the board. That makes my head hurt. A black-white control deck, which isn't really. It's a black-white Approach of the Second Sun deck.
Yeah.
And this tripped me out. It's running Orazka Relic, Sorceress Spyglass Treasure Map, more things you'd expect: Authority, Cast Out, Binding, Seal Away, Settle the Wreckage, Vraska's Contempt, The Immortal Sun, Bantu's Last Reckoning, Doomfall, Fumigate, Mastermind's Acquisition, 3 Approach of the Second Sun, and 1 in the board, because Mastermind's Acquisition, I guess. It's, yeah. Huh. But it took 10th, so hey. 11th place, Zach Stern is running a green-white aggro deck. Did you guys look at this?
I'm looking at it now.
It's lots of little dudes. Greenbelt Rampager, Jade Light Ranger, Llanowar Elves, because of course. Merfolk Branchwalker, Resilient Kenra, Steel Leaf Champion. That thing is killer, by the way.
Yeah.
Galta Primal Hunger, Ronus the Indomitable, and Shalai Voice of Plenty. This is the angel. It says, you planeswalkers you control and other creatures you control have hexproof. And then for 6 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control.
That adds up.
I mean, quickly. And then Heart of Kirin and Sky Sovereign console flagship, because it's funny. So this actually terrifies me. So, yeah.
Yeah, that Steel Leaf Champion is rough.
Indeed it is. There's a Sultai energy deck in 12th, which is pretty much the Sultai energy deck from before. Actually, it is the Sultai energy deck from before Dominaria was a thing. So look, that still works. A blue-red Godpharaoh's Gift deck, which
Chain Whirler.
And Skirk Prospector and Rowdy Crew. So it's got some blue. It's essentially the same as the mono red version, but it's got Champion of Wits. Oh, it's got Glorybringer. Hey, buddy. And Trophy Mage in the main board. So, yeah. A little bit of blue for a little bit more, well, I guess consistency, even though it's adding a color. You know what I mean. You've got the Champion of Wits and the Trophy Mage for card draw and finding your gate to the afterlife. So, yeah. There's another blue-white control deck, Jonathan Rosam in 14th. This is running Karn and Teferi, because you can never draw too many cards, ever. Oh, this is another approach deck. Huh. All right.
Yeah, you can only really draw too many cards when you draw one too many.
That is true, yeah. Colton Grissom in 15th is running Mardu Vehicles.
And it's a normal Mardu vehicle. There's nothing doing
this is straight up Mardu Vehicles from before Dominaria. And then finally in 16th, a red-black aggro deck by Dennis Brown. With this looks like it's just, hey, let's throw all this good stuff in a deck. Glory
It's got
Bringer.
good stuff in the sideboard.
Oh my god. Glory Bringer, Goblin Chain Whirler, Rekindling Phoenix, Skirt Prospector, Wily Goblin, Captain, Lannery Storm. Like, that's your creature base. Just, here's all this good stuff. You've got Chandra Torch of Defiance, Abrade, Magma Spray, Vraska's Contempt, Fight with Fire, and Settle the Score. Wow, settle the score in the main. Exile target creature, put 2 loyalty counters on a planeswalker you control. Which is Chandra.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put 2 loyalty counters on Chandra Torch of Defiance all day long. And then, yeah, in the board, there is Squee.
Got there. All right.
All right.
Top 16.
So, yeah, there you go. That is our very first look at a standard-only deck, or standard-only tournament. How many people... I closed the show notes. Whoops.
Oopsies.
168, I want to say. 150.
153 for the standard class.
Yeah. Same thing. So,
They're just numbers, right?
Yeah, they're just numbers. Let us go to Modern, then. I have to admit now I didn't actually look at any of the Modern decks for any new cards.
That's fair, though.
First place, Kendall Burdett. Oh, wait, how many people were playing in this? 248. So first place, Kendall Burdett running Counters Company. With that, yeah, that looks like a Counters Company deck, straight up. Okay. Second place, a Black Red Hollow 1 deck by Jake Dersheimer. It's something like that. Apologies again. Hollow 1. Grixis Death Shadow. In third place by Cameron Neighbors. Remember when that deck was everywhere? And people were like, you should ban the Death Shadow. Or, yeah. Shut up, people.
They didn't.
In fourth place, Daniel Hamblin is running Counters Company as well. Pretty much same idea. Don't see anything fancy going on here. Fifth place, Blue-Red Breach by Dahan Hardesty. Good old Breach. That means there's an Emrakul. Yup, there it is. All right.
Step 2 is removal.
It's running Opt. Ding. Got there. Opt wasn't Modern legal, right? Before Dominaria? No. Was it?
Wasn't Opt already in, like, Standard era?
Oh, yeah, it was in Ixalan.
Unless I missed something. I'm pretty sure that was when it was first printed, wasn't it?
Well, no, it was first printed in Invasion, but...
Oh, right, yeah. First printed in, like, recent history, I mean.
Right, yeah. I completely forgot that it was in Ixalan because, like, the Teferi looking at the crystal with his spark in it is just burned into my brain now as the art for Opt.
That's fair.
So that's Blue-Red Breach. Green-White Hexproofed Bogles by Brian Lee in sixth place. Doubt there's anything new going on here.
There's nothing new in it.
There's not. Seventh place, Jund by Miles Phillips. Good old Jund. Got that Bloodbraid Elf. Gonna break Modern. Totally gonna break Modern. Modern is doomed. And eighth place, oh dear God.
Yeah.
What is this?
Different.
Jay Lansdall, no relation, is running a Jeskai Saheeli deck with Saheeli Rai and Felidar Guardian. It's the crazy cat lady in Modern.
Yeah. She's also got a new card in her deck.
Look at this. Oh, of course it's Shalai Voice of Plenty. Yeah.
That fits.
Give them all hexproof. Yeah, that seems fine.
Make them bigger just cause.
Okay, what's going on here? We've got Birds of Paradise, Felidar Guardian, Huntmaster. Huntmaster? What?
He does stuff.
I like the way it's Jeskai Saheeli, and yet we've got 2 green cards, because here's Lotus Cobra and
Sure.
Noble Hire. This isn't Jeskai.
No, it's not.
This is non-black Saheeli.
Yeah.
It's like Birds of Paradise. That's not Jeskai either. What the hell? Okay, so
there's
we've
a
got
lot of green in here.
There is. So, Birds of Paradise, Felidar Guardian, Huntmaster of the Fells, Lotus Cobra. Remember that card?
Yeah, I do.
Magus of the Moon, Noble Hierarch, Reflector Mage, Renegade Rallier, Thragtusk. What? It's like
This is Naya with some blue.
We got one slot left. What do? I know. Swagtusk. Dang. Voice of Resurgence, Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker.
I approve.
And Shalai, Voice of Plenty. What are the spells? 4 Oath of Nissa and 4 Eldritch Evolution. Huh. Wow. This deck is freaking nuts.
I would be entertained to watch this play out.
Man.
Actually, I would be entertained to watch the face of the opponent who's gone up against this deck and doesn't know what to expect. Because how could you?
You're right. First time someone drops a Saheeli Rai, it's like, wait, what? What does that card do? Wasn't that banned?
Turn 1, Birds of Paradise. Turn 2, Lotus Cobra. They're on some kind of ramp. Saheeli.
Wait a minute.
You hear the record scratch sound.
I didn't know it at the time, but he boarded in Sun Titan, and I could never win again.
Oh, God, there is a Sun Titan over there.
There is.
What even is?
Well, you see, when you've got that Sun Titan, you don't actually have to cast your Saheeli.
Oh my God. Here, wait a minute. We're going to make Cluze feel better. In 9th place, burn.
Oh yeah, I've been staring at that the whole time you've been going through the top 8. And
more Counters Company, 8 rack. Hey, look at that. 8 rack. That always makes me giggle. More Jund, Counters Company, Bant Spirits, and Death and Taxes in Modern. Huh. Which, okay, it's actually like, it enters the battlefield effects, and Leonin Arbiter, and Thalia. Okay, I guess, yeah, Death and Taxes, sure.
So the Jund decks.
The Jund decks, 12th and 13th.
12th and 13th, yeah, not the early ones, but the 12th and 13th one. They're both running Damping Sphere in the sideboard.
Ooh. Nice. That, I guess this deck really just wants to do one thing a turn.
Yeah.
And that one thing is terrifying, no matter what it is. Wait a minute. That affects Cascade. Don't you have to pay to Cascade if you have Damping Sphere out? Each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. So if you Bloodbraid Elf, that's casting a spell, and then you Cascade into a thing, you may cast it without paying its mana cost.
Yeah.
But do you have to then pay 1 to cast it still?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay, I thought so.
Added cost.
Huh. I guess you only bring that in when you absolutely have to, and yeah. Also, I guess you're setting your opponent back. If you're boarding in Damping Sphere, you're setting your opponent back significantly more than having to pay 1 to Cascade into something.
Presumably.
That's just an interesting thing that people should be aware of, and I spotted it, and I'm proud of me for that. All right. So that was your Modern Classic.
Hooray.
Hooray. Main character from Force Awakens. That's Hooray.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, there was a Legacy tournament with 128 players.
128 players for the king of all formats. And let me just save you 8 clicks. There are no new cards in the top 8.
So, Cluze.
I appreciate that.
When Legacy becomes the king of all formats, or I guess became in this case,
right?
It now has to announce that as a status, right? And it has to be clearly identified.
Yes, the monarch of all formats.
Okay.
But that kind of goes without saying because it's just going to stay that way. So we only have to announce it when it changes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we don't have to announce it ever again.
But it has to be clear. You have to.
Oh, yeah.
It has to wear its crown.
It wears a hat. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to imagine Legacy wears a sombrero.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
And suddenly I want to play Legacy.
Excellent. See? It's the king of all formats. Here in Atlanta, in first place, we had Dakota Cotton playing Miracles because they didn't get the memo that we don't play that deck anymore. In second place, Jeff Johnson was playing Sneak and Show. Third place, Jeremy Hasu? I can't pronounce that last name. I'm sorry, Jeremy, but you were playing Grixis Delver, so you're already dead to me. In fourth place,
it doesn't really matter.
Thomas Berkemeyer is also playing Miracles, also not getting the memos. In fifth place, Christopher Miner is playing Punishing Maverick. Yeah, it's okay. Sixth place, Clint Neal has Death and Taxes. Seventh place, Jeff Hunter is also playing Maverick of some flavor. And in eighth place, John Holland is playing Grixis Delver. Other decks.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
I just saw 10th.
Yeah, I was going to say, other decks. We've got some more Grixis Delver in ninth, which still is boring. But in 10th place, we've got Belcher. You know why? Because glass cannons are great when they work.
Because it managed to dodge the hate for one tournament, and so it put up a good finish.
In 11th place.
It didn't dodge it alone.
Oh, yeah, we're getting there. In 11th place, we have Blue Goblins. In 12th place, Reanimator, Abzan Deathblade in 13th. Nick Fit in 14th. Another Belcher in 15th. I'm loving it. And some more Sneak It Show in 16th. And there you go.
2 Belcher, the top 16.
That's right. That's right. I need somebody to run Cheerios for me.
Is that still a thing?
Cheerios? Oh, yeah.
Could someone remind me Nick Fit? I ask this every time because it shows up so rarely.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't even remember what Nick Fit does.
Oh, it's the one that uses Veteran Explorer. Like, that's always the thing that every time I see it, I'm like, oh, it's that deck! Because Veteran Explorer is kind of insane. I mean, look at this. It's got one of all kinds of things, including Marin of Clan Nel Toth. Remember Clan Nel Carter? Samut, Voice of Dissent. Sigarda. Titania, Protector of Argoth. Like, what? One Sylvan Safekeeper. What? Swag Tusk. What? Let me close this. This makes my head hurt. Go away. So there you go. That's all the tournament, right?
That's all the tournaments.
Other than the pre-release. Which, by the way, if you want to hear how I did at the pre-release, and how Mike and Brian did at the pre-release, and what other people think of Dominaria, because I actually went to House of Cards in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, on Saturday, and just hung out and talked Dominaria with people while they pre-released. And then on Sunday, Mike and Brian and I went to Lucky's Card Shop in Greensboro, North Carolina, and did the pre-release thing. So all of that is on the last episode of the Mana Pool, which finally went up yesterday. So that's how I did. Spoilers, right. I went 2-2 and had a blast! Except for round 3. Round 3 sucked. I intentionally swore and had to edit it. That's how bad round 3 was.
Okay.
It was over in like 6 minutes. Like, it was bad. Steel Leaf... What's it called? Champion?
Sounds right.
Yeah, that thing is killer.
Yeah, we'll do that.
How about your pre-release there, Squee?
I opened a lot of really cool cards that did not play together, like, at all. And so, like, record-wise, it did not do very well, but I opened some cool stuff, so I can only really complain so much. Like, I did get a Teferi, which is sweet. So I got a Teferi, and my pre-release foil is I can never remember its name. The land that taps for a bunch of black if you already have a bunch of black.
Oh, the fixed Cabal Coffers?
I guess not Cabal Coffers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember it as not Cabal Coffers. I don't remember what the actual card is. But that was obviously not doing anything in my 4-color by necessity
Stronghold
deck. Yeah, Stronghold. So yeah, I got one of those. And
well, what was your other one? Because you got 2 pre-release foils.
Yeah, my other foil was the can't remember his name.
What's he do?
The cool green legendary dude, who's I think just an uncommon.
Multani? Oh,
he was a beat stick. I remember that much.
Grun?
Yeah, I think it was Grun.
Grun the Lonely King. That guy is
I think it was Grun. Yeah,
insane.
yeah, he was great. Grun the Lonely King. He's the kicker dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to watch him come out kicked. And
I did it multiple times.
And swing and then scoop because he was already dead. But
I had plenty of instances where I got Grun out either as the 5/5 or as the 10/10, and swing and then trip over a goblin. And repeatedly that would be what would happen to him. And I never actually got to connect for 20.
That's brutal.
But I mean, he's also an awesome uncommon, so here we are. Like, any given time, if I could have given him flying or something, it'd be different. But like I said, my deck was all over the place. I didn't actually have enough creatures to run less than 3 colors. And a lot of the spells that I had were not compatible with each other because there were so many high synergy things in the set that's why I say I think it drafts amazingly. I think in sealed, most sealed decks are probably great. I could not find a way to build mine. And a lot of that's probably also just me being out of practice. Since this is the first time I've actually played Magic since the Ixalan pre-release. Like, I'm that out of practice. So, yeah. I'm sure a lot of it was being out of practice. But either way, I opened some cool cards. The person across and to the left from me opened promo Squee, and I'm like, you're a monster. And he's like, what am I going to do with this? And I'm like, you're going to respect it. But regardless, yeah, so that was neat. I'd like to say that I'm going to, try to draft this more often, but I say that after every set that I have fun at the pre-release at, and I typically don't, but we'll see. I do like it, and I think it's probably the best built set they've put out in some time, and part of that's just the hype of the fact that it looks like it's probably the most fun to draft since there's so many cards you can just run with, and my only real gripe about it is that Icy Manipulator at Uncommon makes the game less fun. And I think that'll probably sort itself out in draft because most people will just take the one out of their pack, no matter which pack they open it in. So everyone having one is whatever. Some people having 3 of them is miserable.
Oh, God.
Because that just happens with Uncommons and Sealed. So
a thing that we talked about, I don't remember if this was on the episode or not, but it seems like every pre-release that each person did was different. Like, Brian did the Midnight, and he mentioned how everyone seemed to have a copy of Whisper Blood Liturgist. The 2/2 uncommon legend that says tap Whisper, sacrifice 2 creatures, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
He said there were Whispers everywhere at the Midnight, and it was brutal. I didn't see a single Whisper during our pre-release. The problem that I kept having was on Sarah's Wings. Like, I was running black-red stuff with a pretty good early game and an insane late game, and I just kept losing to on Sarah's Wings so much that after round 2, I actually changed my deck, added in 2 Skittering Surveyors, an On Sarah's Wings, and Orvad, because I was already black-red and I was adding white, so I might as well play Orvad.
Sure.
And every game that I drew On Sarah's Wings after that, I won.
It's one of those breakout cards where if you don't have an answer for it, you die very quickly.
Yeah,
I did it with On Sarah's Wings on the legendary dude who's super awesome when he's enchanted.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I died on turn 5-ish.
Bug.
Like, I mean, I had a stumbling start on that game anyway, but I was dead with no interaction whatsoever. It was like fighting against a Butcher's Cleaver. Like, between the flying and the fact that my deck started putting out creatures, but I couldn't block, no, it just didn't matter.
Yeah, I had 2 copies of Josu Vess. One was was a promo, and one was just in a pack. And you think Josu Vess as a 4/5 with Menace is good for 4 mana? As a 5/6 with Flying and Vigilance and Menace? Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. I believe it.
So yeah, it's
That's that. I also just suffered from one of the games. My opponent landed like a stupid 3/3 flyer, and I couldn't do anything about it because they also put out a Siege Gang Commander. You know how you block flyers with things that have 2 toughness? Yeah, I can't do anything. So over the course of a Siege Gang Commander just chucking things in the sky, I could never actually successfully block and survive it. So Siege Gang is awesome, even in decks that aren't running goblins, although that's really what you should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm going to hopefully get to at least a draft or 2 over the course of this summer because I would like to.
Yeah, I found out earlier today, Brian has already drafted. Brian, who doesn't, get to go out and do Magic stuff very often, has already been the luckiest to do a draft.
I mean, it's a good set to do it with.
I was like, wow. So, yeah. The set seems... I mean, they've obviously cranked the power level.
Yes. Like, the uncommons in this set would be rares in other sets.
Yeah. And even some of the commons. Like Adamant Will. Adamant Will is insane. The target creature gets +2/+2 and indestructible for 1 and a white. At instant speed, just that. Nope, this doesn't die. Instead, you die. Yeah, that thing. That was the other card that completely owned me several times over the course of the tournament. So yeah, but
yeah. So cool
it's
set.
Fun. It's good stuff. For more to the moment reactions, check out the mana pool number. I think it's 507. It is 507. Yay! But okay, so that is that. What now?
Your Magic Online news is that Dominaria is online, as we've already stated several times through other stuff. Give or take some foils. So have fun with that. And I think that's it. I think we can go to sign out time.
All right, we'll go for it.
All right, so you can find me on Twitter at SqueeGoblinToBob. There's no I in Goblin because I think it's actually still in Chicago. I might have left it there. Maybe it got better weather. I have no idea. It's probably eating pizza right now. I hate it. I want it to come back with pizza.
Is it folding the pizza in half?
It's not a savage. It's just an eye. Like, no, it knows how to eat a proper Chicago pizza. It's delicious. I did enjoy the fact that pizza places were more common than burger places, at least in the part of Chicago I was in. Also, in a plot to kill me, my workplace in Chicago has jelly bean dispensers that are just there for the cranking. I didn't care much for jelly beans as a child, but as I got older, I started to like them. And being able to just casually walk over and refill a cup with jelly beans when I feel like it is pretty dangerous. So beware. But yeah, past that, I'll note that this past Thursday, I did catch Avengers. I made a point of getting the first showing because I knew the internet would be all over spoiling that, which it is. I'm glad that my co-hosts apparently have not been spoiled yet because I know they're going to catch it soon.
I didn't say that, unfortunately, but...
Oh. Well, I hope you haven't been spoiled too
so.
badly. So, but yeah, I enjoyed Avengers. I'm looking forward to catching Ant-Man and Captain Marvel and then the next Avengers film, which does not have a title yet. So I'm just going to call it Infinity +1 until they change otherwise. It just seems right.
I would call it uncountable infinity, since there are two kinds of infinities. Countable infinities and uncountable infinities, and math.
I think you could probably count this one.
Okay.
Like, based on my understanding of how Infinity Gauntlet works, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everyone is screwed. So that's pretty countable.
That is how that works, yeah.
Yeah.
Could we do the thing that one of my math teachers really yelled at us for constantly and just call it infinitely many? Avengers, infinitely many.
I mean, that actually sounds like the casting list, so why not? There were a lot of characters in that movie. Like, I tried to sit down and sort of do like a who's missing, and the number of characters that were vaguely relevant and missing was less than 5.
Jesus.
And I said vaguely relevant, not just relevant. Like, they covered a lot of ground, so I was impressed by that.
Okay, I have to ask for a minor spoiler. Is Hot Aunt May in it?
No.
Curses.
Sorry.
So she's one of the 5, I guess.
She is one of the 5. We'll give you that.
Oh,
but yeah, they don't pull in like the random Netflix characters. Like, those are not there. So I don't think anyone's surprised by that.
Yeah, not so much.
I did not expect Danny Rand to show up and be ineffective. That's what I expect on his show. That's not what I'm expecting in a movie.
Poor Danny Rand.
He deserves better than he gets.
Like, I watched Iron Fist, and I'm like, I don't understand all the hate. Like, there's a lot of hate for Iron Fist, but I still enjoyed it. Then I watched Defenders, and I loved Defenders, but I'm like, Danny Rand is like the dumbest character. Like,
yes, he is.
Like, he's just stupid.
He needs to tell you about Kunlun. And...
Look, he is the Iron Fist. You have to understand that.
Yeah.
He's the defender of place that he's bad at defending.
That's right. He's a complete abject failure at the thing he is supposed to do.
But he'll tell you about it. But anyway, I enjoyed Avengers.
Duped by everyone and everything.
I'm pretty sure he's the kind of person who would have trouble actually getting the vending machine to take his dollar. And so he'd end up punching it and somehow not realize that not only is this stupid, now he can't open the drink, and then he opens it and blasts himself in the face. Like, that's Danny Rand right there. Like, that's just his adventure. But regardless, Avengers was great. I enjoyed all, like, 2 hours and 40 minutes of it. Like,
Nice.
it's a long movie. There's obviously stuff after the credits. Like, you should be trained for that by now. I don't know why people leave the theater like fools.
And it's always like 3/4 in every Marvel movie. Like 3/4 of the audience gets up and leaves, and I'm like,
I have to assume some of them had to pee, but they should have come back.
I'm like, really, y'all?
Yeah. Well, they missed out. There's obviously after credits. Movie's great. Don't let anyone spoil it for you. Go check it out if you can. Past that, I'm just going to note that for me, I'm going to be at Animazement at the end of May, Memorial Day weekend, Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been going to Animazement for literally 20 years. It's the convention that I consider my convention, even though I don't work it anymore. But I'm going to be there. If you're going to it, let me know. We'll hang out. It'll be awesome. I'll give you a cookie or something. Past that, and the end of June will be the convention that I'm staffing, and that's Cosplay America. And I'll probably hit you guys with some more info on that once we get, workshops and schedules and stuff online. So that'll be cool. But I'm going to be shifting right back into busy nerd mode. So it should be a lot of fun. And also, I just, on a more minor note, looking forward to seeing Deadpool. Still don't really care about Solo.
Still don't care about what?
Solo.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, the biggest budget movie about a cup that I've ever heard about.
I had one of those this weekend.
A cup?
Yeah, Solo cup.
Excellent. Yeah. So, thank you, Cluze. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
For the audience who can't see anything, Cluze turned on the camera for 3 seconds to show a red Solo cup and then turned it back off.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's empty.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was only filled with water before, but now it's empty and I'm really thirsty.
Well, then you've lost twice.
Well, then you should go next so you can go get a drink.
Yep, I'll hand it over to Cluze. So go get them, Cluze.
All right, hey, it's good to talk to y'all out there in listener land. Hey, I know that this time of year, it is about the time that final season is rolling around. So I just want to say to all the students out there, good luck on your finals. And I also want to say to all of the educators out there, good luck with your finals, because I know it's a whole heck of a lot of work, even if the students don't believe it. And good luck getting through all the emails from students who aren't happy with their finals, I guess. That's what I'll say about that. I tried to go see Avengers this weekend, but the only showings that worked for us schedule-wise were sold out. So we made tacos instead. So downside...
Sounds like a good trade.
Yeah, downside, no Avengers. Upside, tacos. So
Yeah.
I considered that as much of a win as I could salvage for the weekend, I guess, is what I will say about that. Let's see now. What else? If you want to hear more from me, theoretically, you can hear it over on the Random Discard podcast, found at randomdiscard.com or right here on the MTGcast network. You can hit me up on Twitter. I am at Lacluyze, spelled just like it is in the show notes. I don't have any conventions, cons, or other assorted things that I know that I'm going to. So I guess that's it. You'll have to just tune in to Monday Night Magic, most Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays. And yeah, I guess that's it. And take it away, Chewie. I'm going to go get some more water.
All right. I saw A Quiet Place this weekend. It was excellent.
That is also a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it, even though I also got to hear half of Pacific Rim as a result.
Yeah, I don't know what was in the theater next door, but there were two
But I bet you heard it.
close to the beginning where I was really confused. I was like, wait, what is the... Oh, that's the theater next door. That's not in this movie.
Yeah.
But it did a brilliant job of building tension. Like, I was on the edge of my seat that entire freaking film. In a good way. It was awesome. It was very well paced. With the minimal dialogue, I felt like I knew everything that was going on, except for the character names. Like, when the credits started to roll, there were names, and I said, oh, they did have names. I'll be damned. But, I mean, you didn't need to know the names. You knew who the characters were. Does that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't actually know the names of several characters until the credits rolled.
Yeah. But if you like horror movies, you've already seen it. If you are on the fence about horror movies, you should probably see it in the theater because it's an experience. Like, it's beautifully
If you like
shot.
suspense movies, it's amazing.
It is,
like, horror aside, this is a suspense movie.
Yeah, like I said, I was on the edge of my seat the entire thing. It's beautifully shot. Again, to have minimal dialogue, you know everything that's going on at all times. The actors all act, which is a thing you can't say about most horror movies. And yeah, it was really good. Except for the part where, with, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes left to go till the end of the movie, a dude walks into the theater and goes, "Hey, come on, y'all, let's go." Loud. And the entire theater just turned and looked at him like, what? And then these two people got up and walked away. And I was like, what? Like, why wouldn't you see? Because he saw them. It's not like he said that and was like waving. He's like, "Hey, you people that I don't see, they're with me. Let's go." He pointed at them. He could have walked up and been like, "Hey, come on, y'all, let's go." But no, he's, "Hey, come on, y'all, let's go." And we were like, what? Someone kill him. Because it was close to the end of the movie. It was in one of those, like, parts where you can take a breath. And it completely took me out of it for a couple minutes.
Yeah, for ours, I'm pretty confident that someone near the front of the theater actually smuggled in a small creature made out of tinfoil and just crunkled them all to death. Because the sound of the wrapper and whatever food they had was probably completely inaudible everywhere until they were in that room, but we could all hear it. And it's like, if that were me, I would have abandoned that food and just shut up. But apparently that was not their way. Because we heard this crinkling for like there were 20 minutes while they were finishing whatever it was they were eating.
Ugh.
Yeah. Be aware of your surroundings when it comes to movies like that.
Yeah. It's very quiet. It's called A Quiet Place for a reason.
It is not a subtle name.
But anyway. So, and hopefully, I'm going to go see Infinity War tomorrow. I hope. I've had multiple people pop up on various messaging things and be like, "Infinity War, oh my god." And I'm like, "Thanks, I haven't seen it, shut up." Like, I guess they just really wanted me to know that they saw it, so I could hate them. Like, Bill didn't. I tend
to check around just to make sure that I'm not going to say anything at all. Because like, I won't give you any details whatsoever if I know you haven't seen it. Because I don't like even doing the fake out nonsense. Like, no, I'm just not saying anything.
Yeah, multiple people. I'm talking, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, including one I don't ever speak to. 6, a family member that I don't speak to. 7.
Yeah. I saw some people on my Facebook joking about setting up one of those Facebook emergency events and like you check in to make sure everyone knows you're okay. And it would just be for has seen Infinity War, and then people could check in on that.
Wow. So yeah, that's been my experience with Infinity War thus far, is people want me to know that they saw it. And I'm like, thanks, piss off. But anyway, so yeah, we're going to shut up now. So all of the usual things apply. You can find me everywhere on the internet as The Manapool, Twitter, Facebook. TheManapool.com is where we do the Manapool podcast. YouTube.com/TheManapool is where the video versions of the podcasts and all of my YouTube videos go up. Twitch.tv/TheManapool is where I live stream playing games. Here lately, it's Hearthstone and Overwatch, and then a couple of nights of Magic Arena that won't repeat until they fix some things. And then Assorted Other, Walking Dead, Forced Showdown. There's something else I played just recently that was a lot of fun. Burnout Paradise, actually, I played some. I love that game. Defense Grid, remember that? That was good. Anyway, and of course, if you want to help support what I do with all of this video making and live streaming and podcasting, then by all means, check out patreon.com/themanapool, where you can get early stuff. Manapool episodes and YouTube videos go up early. You can get the early stuff and the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool that's uncensored and unfiltered and generally unsafe for consumption. you get to hear Cluze swear.
Indeed, you do.
Indeed. And you can get the early stuff, the odds and ends, and become a Mana Pool lifeguard, where you will also get a shout out on both podcasts, and your name will be listed on the end slate for each video that goes up every month that you support at that tier. So to that end, I would like to thank the following Mana Pool lifeguards: Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Rafe Gall, Corey Cloutier, Paul David, Lance Delicious, Team U, Les Haryu, John Morris, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Bosco Bertain, Casey, Nathan Hay, Danny Liao, Jason Doan, AJ Javieris, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons, Jason Kaus, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum. Stark didn't actually just poke me, but something did. Who was that? Stark Maximum, Jimmy Scott, Dan Holm, Mike Millerburned, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. That was very strange. As soon as I said Stark's name, you ever get one of those like itches that feels like something bites you, but nothing bit you? It's just like an itch.
Those are actually bats that are biting you, and you can't feel them anymore due to the numbing agent.
Oh, okay. Well, then when I read Stark's name, a bat bit me. So
that sounds like right. Yeah.
Sounds like something Stark would do. So yeah, I guess is that everything? I guess that's everything. Good Lord, isn't that enough?
It is sufficient, plus some more.
But that's what happens when we have 2 weeks worth of shows. What is it you said in the chat earlier, Bill? 1.8 podcasts?
Yeah, we had 0.8 podcasts last time, and so we decided not to. And that meant that when we had 1 this time, we got to nearly 2.
Yeah, so... But there you go. Now you have a longer episode to listen to. So, this has been Monday Night Magic number 5...
No,
507 was the Mana Pool. 604.
There you go.
Yeah. I have so many shows I don't even know, man. And they're always a big number, a 0, and then another number here lately. So I get confused. So
It'll be fine in like one real podcast. Don't worry about it.
It will, yeah. Well, then there'll all be a big number and then 1 and then another number. So it's never going to get better. So, I almost said to go play some Hearthstone. Good Lord. So thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.